Hello, Classic Crew, and welcome to today's episode of The Scoop. If you are new to my channel, The Scoop is our opportunity to catch up, go over what went on over the course of the week, chat about what's been going on with all of us. I love reading what you guys have been up to over the course of the week, so make sure to leave that in the comments below. I'd love it if you would subscribe if you are new here. I talk about commentary, lifestyle, beauty, and fashion and opera, all from a classic and conservative perspective, and I would love to have you join us. So grab a cup of coffee or water or tea or whatever else it is you might be drinking, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I keep forgetting to talk about in my videos is my new background. So if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you probably have noticed that I have changed up my background, and it was a very funny story. So when we first moved into this house, I had an idea of how I wanted to set things up in my office, and it was set up that way for quite a bit. I was pretty happy with it. But just like in my old house, I realized that if I didn't set things up in a certain way, the room felt super crowded because I have a lot of equipment for my channel to make sure that the lighting looks good, to make sure that the mic quality is good, to make sure that the camera quality looks good. All of that stuff takes up a lot of room. So setting up the room in a bad way means that it will feel really tight in here. So initially, I had the room set up in a certain way, and it just was very hard to get to certain places in the room. I would have to squeeze through and try to avoid wires and things like that, and it just wasn't working. And I had this idea of, I think I want to change things. I woke up in the morning with like a vision of what it needed to be. And the idea was, if I moved the place that I filmed into the corner of my room and had everything pointing there, then I would have a lot more room in the space. Oh my gosh, it was a game changer. I now have so much more room in here, which is amazing. I can work at my vanity, I can do my makeup there, I can also do my work there. And then when I film, I just kind of pop over to this side of the room and I film. I've got my clothing rack over off to the left here. It's not in the background of my videos anymore, which I think is better. I think people weren't a huge fan of the way that looked. I do prefer this. I've been trying to figure out what to do with my little perfume cabinet since I got it at a thrift store, and now I have a place for it in the background of my videos, which makes me super happy. And I just think that this looks a lot better, feels a lot better. So that is the story of my new background. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like the way this looks? Because I am so happy with it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is that we hosted this past weekend. We actually had a couple of guests stay over. They brought their 2 children, and it was absolutely lovely. Yes, we were very careful about COVID. Everybody was tested beforehand, so please don't get worried about that in the comments. I'd really love to not have that conversation once and for all. But we did have some people over, and it was really interesting because I had to try and figure out what could we do with the kids during COVID when nothing is really open and things aren't totally available and it's cold outside. So I had to come up with a plan, and I came up with a really nice day, and it ended up being really fun. So I thought I would share this with you guys in case you are going to be seeing any kids in your future, or if you have kids, I'm sure you guys have come up with 1,001 activities to do with your children. So this isn't to say that you don't know already. I'm sure you do. But for those of us who don't have kids yet but are still seeing kids and you want to have a good time with them when they're over, this is what we did. So I went to the store and I got stuff to make cupcakes. I made cupcakes with the 2 little girls, which they really liked doing, with the older one more than the younger one. But the second part, both of them loved, which was decorating the cupcakes. So I got some sprinkles and I made some frosting, and I allowed them to just go to town. They could apply it however they wanted. They could spread it over the cupcakes. They could choose whichever sprinkles they wanted to do. And they had such a great time with it, and it was a really fun experience. And then the other thing we did with the kids was I actually braided challah with them. So challah is a Jewish kind of bread, and we usually make it for Sabbath. And so what I did was I prepared the dough in advance using our bread maker, and then I split it into 4 parts so that I could make a challah to demonstrate, their mom could make a challah, and the 2 of them could make challahs. And then each one of us got to split it into 3 parts, and I taught them how to braid it. And it was a cool thing for them because after we baked it, they could see what they had made. Even though they didn't actually make the bread, they got to make the challah. They got to braid it, and that was a lot of fun. We also watched one of my absolute favorite movies, which is called The Court Jester. I don't know if you've seen it. It's with Danny Kaye. Danny Kaye, guys, He is the best. I love him so much. He is my childhood. And we all had such a good time watching that together. The Court Jester is such a great movie. It was made in the 1950s. It's Angela Lansbury, Danny Kaye, and it's super appropriate for kids and just a ton of fun. So if you're looking for a movie that maybe an 8-year-old or a 6-year-old could watch and the parents will love too, this would be a perfect film for that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is something that's kind of funny, which is The Bachelor. I don't know if any of you guys watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I can't bring myself to watch it. It doesn't make me feel good watching people's drama play out on TV. I can watch a movie or a TV show that's scripted because those are people playing characters, but watching real people go through such a fake process when nobody can figure out enough about somebody in that short amount of time and you're all competing for the same man or the same woman. I just don't totally get it. So if you're somebody who watches The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, let us know in the comments below what you like about it, because I'm curious. I don't really understand. I watched Love is Blind just because I was writing an article on it for a website, and it was addictive in a way I didn't like. Like, I wanted to see what was gonna happen next, but I also felt bad that I was interested at all because these are people's lives and it just felt wrong. Let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts. The last thing I want to talk about today is that it is the March for Life today, which is amazing. It is a ton of people getting together to celebrate being pro-life and to talk about how important it is for us to be pro-life and to fight for the rights of the unborn. As you guys know, I am incredibly pro-life. I have done a few videos on this topic. This is something I believe in so passionately, and it's something that I will always fight for. It's something I believe we have a responsibility to fight for because the unborn cannot fight for themselves. So I think it's incredible that there are so many people who participate in the March for Life and who are fighting for those unborn children. And if you are interested in learning more, you can go to marchforlife.org. But that's it for today's video. I didn't have too much going on this past week, so I didn't have too much to talk about, but I would love to hear what you guys are up to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you join the Classic crew. I'd also love if you would sign up for my new newsletter. So I just revamped my newsletter and it is going to have some awesome stuff for you guys. It'll come to you twice a month and it'll have just little updates about what's going on my channel, as well as classic tips, classic outfits, classic conservative quotes, and some things that I've been loving that maybe you want to check out. So I would love if you guys would subscribe to my newsletter. I will put a link in the description box below, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's just that little dose of classic that you might want every so often, and it won't be invasive because it's only going to be coming twice a month. If you'd like to see what I'm up to more on a daily basis and what I'm thinking about, you can go ahead and follow me on all of my socials. It's Classically Abby, absolutely everywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!